Hey guys, so this episode is for all of you course creators, coaches, consultants that struggled with selling your programs at any given time. Today's guest is Julie Stoian. She's an amazing marketer, head coach for Russell Brunson's Inner Circle. She accomplished so many things in a short period of time, and her life story is just amazing. Get ready to take some serious notes because this episode is packed. Welcome to High-End Client Acquisition Podcast. My name is Marian. I'm your host, and this show is here to teach you how to attract your dream clients on autopilot in 30 days or less. Each week, I bring you a guest or a strategy that can help you take your business to the next level. Don't forget, you can always get the episodes in your inbox or messenger at clientacquisitionpodcast.com. Julie, so first of all, I want to say thanks for accepting and taking the time to be on the show. I really want to let you share your story in just a few moments, as every time that I hear it, it really impacts me a lot. So for everybody that is not familiar with what you do, what you've accomplished in the past couple of years, can you let us know how did you get started, why you did it, and all that good stuff behind the scenes?
So my story, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 3 children, boom, 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 really fast. And I started blogging in 2007 just out of sheer boredom. And eventually started to discover that I was good at writing, I was good at blog design. And so I had this little side business. I never needed it to do anything more than just pay for groceries or pay for a vacation. And so it was fine, but it was fine until it wasn't fine. And that's when in 2014, my husband and I got divorced, or, we decided to divorce. But we were still really broke. We couldn't afford a divorce lawyer. I started to get a little nervous because I was like, shoot, I've just been a stay-at-home mom. Now I got to go out on my own. I've got 3 kids, this whole thing. And 4 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. And that was like, oh, let me just add some pressure on top of the pressure. Because now if I wanted to go get a job, I was starting to I started to show, and I was like, no one's going to hire me if they see that I'm pregnant, because then I'm just going to go on maternity leave. And I started to that's when the panic started to set in. I needed health insurance. So I transitioned my little tiny business. And this is, I discovered Russell Brunson pretty soon after this. And I eventually transitioned into marketing, into digital marketing, because there was a lot more money there than in just blog writing. You know what I mean? And so I started to study funnels and marketing, and built out what would be called just a one-person agency, and eventually started to grow. And then I decided to dabble in the course creation side of things, the affiliate side of things. When you're an agency, you're always looking for ways to add income because you're such limited time.
Yeah.
And so things sort of exploded. I would say I was humming along. I was making $5,000, then $7,000, then $10,000, then $15,000, then $20,000. And I was hanging around about $20,000 a month, and I thought this was awesome. And I turned on my first auto webinar funnel, and within 2 months, I was at $90,000 a month. And about a month later, I hit my first 100K month. It was crazy. It was just that one funnel that completely changed everything.
Wow. So the entire one funnel away phrase really applies to you in the perfect scenario, I'd say.
Yeah, it was literally actually the truth. But, I was making really good money, don't get me wrong. Anybody would love $20,000 months, but the difference in my income from before the funnel and after the funnel was intense.
So just to make sure everybody understands, you were basically providing done-for-you marketing services, correct? And was that for local businesses or online course creators, coaches? What kind of industry you were really into? Yeah,
so I actually, my specialty wasn't local businesses. My specialty was online course businesses. Okay. And so I helped coaches and consultants and course creators build their funnels, launch their products. And so I was making about $20K a month, and that was mostly in that service money, because my average proposal was around $15,000. I had a few courses on the side. They were little courses, just because I was dabbling, because I was helping all these course creators, and I was like, yeah, I could do a course, but I was just doing it a little bit. And eventually I had 2 businesses at once. I had my agency and my course business, and I just held them both for about a year until I decided to chop off the head of whichever one wasn't performing as well.
Got it. So it's good to know that, because a lot of people, are doing courses, teaching stuff. They're just learn from somebody else, but without actually them implementing themselves. Because let's be honest, working with clients, it's not an easy task. And, the fact that you went through all these steps before teaching it, in my opinion, it's really, really powerful and authentic.
The funny thing is, I dropped my agency in the summer of 2017. So it was just 8 months ago. It wasn't really that long ago. Nights when I stopped having clients. Yeah. But it was 3 months later that Russell started to work with me as a contractor. So I really was only client list for about 3 months. And then I went from all these clients to super client, you know what I mean? And then Russell was my super client, and now I work with him. So I think the thing that you're trying to get at is I teach what I still do, right? Exactly. So I'm still building funnels. I'm still doing funnels. I'm helping people with their funnels all the time. So I'm not removed from what I'm teaching, which makes my courses, they tend to be better because I'm not just I'm living it, right?
100%. And I remember when I first purchased your Digital Gangsta course, and knowing that you already were working as a coach in Russell Brunson's Inner Circle, I felt like all the value that was in the course and how the things were falling into place were at a whole nother level from a lot of other programs that I've been part of.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's hard because the course creation business talks about how easy it is to launch a course. And it is technically, yes, very easy. It is not easy to sell a course, especially if you don't have a lot of experience,
That's a very good point. So with that said, you've had your own huge growth in a short period of time, going from 20K to 100K a month. And now that you work with all the high-level entrepreneurs from the Inner Circle, from other clients of yours, what do you see the most common mistake that people are doing when it comes to scaling their business?
Well, Russell talks about this all the time, and I have talked about it forever. And it's reverse engineering your business to fit a sales message rather than trying to create a sales message for your business. So the idea is so I'll tell you about the launch of the Digital Gangsta. Rather than build a course, then write a sales page, then do a launch, and then pray that people buy, I backed into it the opposite way. And what I did is I thought, I wonder if I could teach people to be a digital marketer. And I was like, all right, if I wanted to do that, what would that sales page look like? What would be the best sales page? And so I built a sales page just out of my butt. I just thought it up and I was like, this would be cool. This would be cool. This would be cool. And because I love copy, I built the entire sales page with nothing else, just as a sales page. And the idea was that I would sit back and I'd look at it and I'd be like, that's awesome. That's a great offer. Or I'd be like, I need something more. And then I'd plug something in. Now what I've done is I've created a sales message that I think is really good. And now I have to build a course to live up to its sales page. So many people build a course and then they try to build a sales page and then the sales page doesn't convert. And I'll look at them and I'll be like, okay, it's not converting. Let's change the copy. Well, and then they're like, well, if I change the copy too much, it's not going to match what I'm selling in the course. And I'm like, exactly. If you didn't have the course to worry about and you could just change that copy again and again and again until it converted and then deliver what the copy says, wouldn't that be easier? And so people get obsessed with their products and they don't get obsessed with the sales message of their product instead. And so I think the biggest mistake you can make is to attach yourself to an idea of what you want to sell rather than attaching yourself to a group of people and then finding a sales message and then delivering the product in that order. It's people, message, product. It is not product, message, people.
So you'd say to focus on the people you want to serve and what's the message that would attract them to buy rather than actually build the material, build the course, and then try to sell it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a big community. It can be 10 people. So I don't want people to be like, oh my God, I got to go build a 5,000 person list in a 20,000 Facebook group and then I can sell something. My very first course, well, no, not my very first, it was my second, was a web design course. I literally said to myself, you know what? I want to help web designers. So I thought people, right? That was the first thing, people. The second thing was, what's the message? And I was like, I think I have a message. So I wrote an email. And it was literally just an email. And then I went and I emailed my list. I had a little list, and then I went into a Facebook group and I modified the email as a post. And I was like, if anybody wants to know how to design websites, I was going to do a 10-week live class. If I get 10 students, I'll do it. And I got 10 students. I got 10 students at $200 each. I got $2,000. I built the course, and then I sold it. So it was people, find the people, deliver them a message, and then build the product. Only if they give you money, obviously. There was no webinar. There was no nothing. It was literally like, send me an email. I'll get you a Zoom link. We'll do 8 weeks live together, and it'll be $200. And I filled it.
That's so awesome. And like I mentioned at the beginning, I can guarantee that a lot of people that look at you today, they either don't know or don't remember about that $200 web design course, or maybe even other courses that you've probably created around the same time.
Yeah. Eventually. And even before that, it was funny. I did a MailChimp workshop. So the very first time I ever did a live webinar, I didn't know you're supposed to sell at the end of it. I didn't know Russell Brunson. So I ran ads to a MailChimp workshop. I got 100 people to sign up. 30 people attended live, and I just showed them how to use MailChimp. And then I was like, all right, guys, have a good night. And I was like, ooh, cool. I got 100 new leads. And then the next day I was like, I think I was supposed to do something. I think I was supposed to sell. And I realized I didn't. So I emailed them all, and I'm like, so if any of you want one of those cool custom templates that I showed you how to build, if you want me to build you one, I'm going to offer a special for $150. I'll build you 2 templates. And then I just got this influx of people who were like, yes. And so then I made money, but it was just in a follow-up email.
That is super cool. And these are the things that people don't hear too often. And I'm sure everybody that's listening, they're loving it. But nonetheless, since we mentioned so many tools and other stuff around marketing, what do you think are the skills that someone needs in order to become a digital marketer today? Or not necessarily just to sell marketing services, but to learn marketing in order for them to grow and scale their business as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. But my main point is, now what was needed 2 or 3 or 5 years ago, what's actually needed today?
So, the platforms are all going to change. Obviously, Facebook ads, messenger bots, these are all the things that are really trendy. But to be a good digital marketer, you need to know sales funnels primarily, because those are probably going to continue to improve, but the psychology and the strategy behind them is pretty evergreen, because it's based on human psychology of sales and selling. So sales funnels for sure. I think that the ability to write good copy, whether it's email copy, bot copy, ad copy, is absolutely critical. That's something else that I cover in the Digital Gangsta. And then traffic, understanding how to get people into something. So those are the primary skills. And so, as a digital marketer, you may focus on one type of traffic that you're really good at: SEO, YouTube, Pinterest, JV launches, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you have, podcasting. But pick one method that you want to get really good at, and then build a network of other marketers who are good at the other ones, and then build out a nice little referral finder's fee network. And you can also, get money for referring people to other marketers and build out those funnels for people.
Got it. That's awesome advice. Now, if someone wants to change their career or want to try learn marketing and get familiar with this world, where would you say they should go, right? Because everybody has access now to so much information. What do you think is the easiest and the simplest way to start?
So I always ask, what's everyone's budget? So if your budget is less than $25 to change your career, which I have some issues with that, but let's just say that's all you have, I would go buy Russell's 2 books, .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. You're going to get it's going to be $15, and you're going to learn internet marketing at a really high level. And then what you can do is you can start to, look for free YouTube videos and other things like that to learn the basics. And then you can start building out your service-based business. I think the easiest way to get in the game is to sell your skills first, but you got to learn some skills.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit more money, then I would invest in a program like mine, the Digital Gangsta, where you're going to get a comprehensive overview of digital marketing, how to set up your business, all that kind of stuff. And really, you don't need a ton of things like tools to be a digital marketer. In fact, in my group, I have a bootstrapping webinar where I talk about like, I didn't have fancy proposal software and I didn't have fancy project management tools. Like I used Google Drive and PayPal, and that was it until, you know what I mean? So you can bankroll slowly all those kinds of things as you get started.
And start getting paid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So a lot of people that will listen to this episode, they'll be familiar with the sales funnel community, the ClickFunnels as a platform, and we all know that you can make a good affiliate commission with ClickFunnels. And I know that you are actually one of the super affiliates, you know, along some other great things. But if you don't mind, let's explain to our listeners how they could start with getting recurring revenue, either by recommending the platform or using it. What do you think they should do there?
All right, so there's two ways to do this. There's two primary methods. The first method is the method that Russell teaches in the Affiliate Bootcamp, and there's a bunch of people doing it. I never did it that way, but it's definitely a legit way. And this is where you really build funnels and run ads, and your whole goal is like to get traffic and get trials, and then give them enough follow-up information and training that they stick with the software.
Yep.
So that's the first way. That way is difficult for people who are bootstrapping because you need to spend on the front end. And if your funnel isn't right, then you're like, I'm losing money. So that's one way to do it. The second way to do it is to build a digital marketing business where ClickFunnels is a real key part of it. So one of the things that I teach in my ClickFunnels affiliate marketing group is to come up with a really good offer so that you can go out and say, like, you can go target lead pages customers, or you can target Instapage customers. You can say, hey, listen, you know, I would love to help you move over to ClickFunnels. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a free migration. I'm going to get all your stuff on ClickFunnels. I'm going to give you training, whatever, that kind of stuff. Because if you could actually create an offer that gets them into the software and sticking with the software, then your recurring revenue is going to keep going. So like, I don't have as much traffic, but once I get somebody on ClickFunnels, they tend to stick with it. And then I get that recurring revenue. Not to mention, once they're in Russell's funnel, Russell's really good at selling people, and I'll get commissions from all kinds of things they start buying because Russell's marketing so hard.
Awesome. Yeah. I really like the way you explain it. And I'm sure people that listen and want to start down this path, they now have a clear way of doing it, even if it does include, you know, a lot of things to do.
Yeah. So what you do is you go looking for people who are having trouble with their funnels, right? Maybe they're on Samcart, maybe they're on Lead Pages, maybe they're on Infusionsoft. And so this would be like a classic example of what I would do. So I'll see someone in a group and they'll say like, I'm having trouble with my email segmentation. Can you help? Now, that doesn't obviously sound like, ooh, a new ClickFunnels customer, but I'm like, hey, I'd be happy to take a look. And so in my head, everyone needs ClickFunnels, right? So I have to figure out a way to make their email problem solvable with ClickFunnels, right? So sometimes it's a longer journey than others. And the idea is like, all right, well, here's what I think the problem is. And then I start to talk about like the fact that, you know, their email list isn't segmented, but the problem is it's really because their funnel isn't very clear. And then slowly I bring them around. I'm like, I think this plan could be awesome. And if I can ignite their imagination about a new plan that looks really clean and organized, I don't even talk about ClickFunnels. I just talk about the plan. And then they're like, ooh, yes, I want that. I'm like, awesome. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is the software we're going to buy. This is the you know, and these people who were ready to spend $500 on someone to help fix their tags have now signed a $5,000 contract with me, joined ClickFunnels under my link, and done a whole host of other things. Well, because it's a lot of work, but I was also trying to build an agency at the same time. And a lot of people are like, well, I need money. I'm like, well, then do these two things together, because you'll get money and you'll get recurring revenue at the same time. And you know, the funny thing is, it's like, you know how Russell talks about the red ocean and the blue ocean? Yeah. I used Facebook groups to get work, and I never posted. I would just answer questions, but my strategy wasn't to look for the post where someone says, I'm hiring a sales funnel builder. I didn't look for that. I looked for
solving problems.
I looked for solving problems. Like I looked for people who were talking about VAs that weren't doing their job or email issues or whatever. And I always was like, I have to figure out how to bring this around to ClickFunnels, like, and funnel building. And I could every time.
That's a really smart approach. I really like it. So let's talk about selling your course. A lot of people in my audience are course creators. And let's say somebody is really good at what they do. They have great results for themselves. But maybe they don't have testimonials yet for whatever reason to back up that experience and results that they got. How they can actually go about this in selling their course for the first time.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like you really want to sell a course only when you have an expertise. So if you're trying to sell a course and you don't have an expertise, that's hard. Like I can't, like it's hard to fake that. But if you do have an expertise, but you don't have any testimonials because you haven't taught it yet, right? Like that's a little different. So let me give you an example. So one of my first like big courses that was $497 was called From Blog to Profit. It was the idea of taking your blog and how to make it profitable. I had done that for myself, but I hadn't taught anybody else how to do it. So I didn't have any testimonials, but I did know how to do it because I had done it for myself.
Yeah.
So the first thing is like use yourself as a case study. Use your own experience in your own past. And I think transparency is so important here. It's like, this is what I did and I want to show you how to do it too. As long as you don't make it sound like you're more of a guru than you are, I think you can do it. Like you can do it. And I sold 10 people on this $500 program. So the second thing you can do is you can create case studies, and this is more like evidence-based. So let's say you're teaching a course on funnels, right? But you haven't actually like made $1 million yet, but you can still talk about, hey, these are some funnels that are currently in the marketplace and these are working really well. Look, it works in this niche, it works in this niche, it works in this niche. As long as you don't claim them as your own testimonials, but you just show like evidence, like I could go to you and I could say, listen, I know that there's a hot dog vendor who just made $250,000 teaching, hot dog vending, right? And I can tell you that, and that still has proof in it, even if I haven't done it, right? It just validifies the topic. So look for statistics and evidence that validify the topic you're teaching to help sell it until you can get some testimonials. And then the third way is to try to do it for someone for free or a couple people for free first. And then, but make it very clear, like I'm doing this for you for the sake of a video testimonial. So make sure it's in writing that that's what they're going to do in exchange for the service.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Now, what's a path that you'd say people should go when they are unclear? Like when you have courses versus coaching versus group coaching versus done for you service. And of course, there will be depending on what industry you serve, what exactly is your main product and all that stuff. But what would you say in your opinion, like how should people look at this different things?
So my number one advice is that the graveyards are full of people who just didn't stick with a plan. And I know that like in online business, like you have to change sometimes, but my recommendation to you is number one, understand that it is easier, like in the world of selling, the easiest thing in the world to sell is something that has a deliverable. So a website, a funnel, like something tangible, right? And then after that, you can sell your brain one-to-one. Then you can sell your brain to a small group. And then eventually you can sell a course and then a membership and then an event. So it's services, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, courses, memberships, events. That's the hierarchy. So if you're just getting started, start over here. Like sell a tangible deliverable, get some money, get some experience, get some testimonials. Then you can start moving into the one-on-one coaching and consulting. Now, if you're starting a business and you're like, there's no freaking way I'm going to be a digital marketer. Okay, fine. Start at the one-on-one coaching. Don't try to build a course until you can do it on a one-to-one basis, because it's a lot easier to get results one-to-one and get that testimonial to then be able to grow. And pick a mentor, pick someone to follow and follow them, and don't get distracted, because there's so many ways to build a business and they all work, right? So it's like, but if you're like, oh, I'm going to grab this guru's idea and then this guru's idea, and then you start like making this like weird mud pie of like hybrid strategies, and then you're confused, just put blinders on, pick somebody, try it. If it doesn't work, then go on to somebody else. But execution is everything.
To be honest, I think what you've just said is one of the clearest paths that someone could follow. And Julie, thank you so much for sharing all that knowledge with us here. I know we're running out of time now, but I really appreciate everything that you told us today, the way that you shared your story, the way that you shared your experience. And I'm pretty sure, our listeners really took some serious notes. If someone wants to find out more about you, get in touch with you, where they could go.
You guys can check out my website at juliestoian.com. Stoian. It's got 3 vowels. Yes, Americans, it's got 3 vowels in a row. juliestoian.com. All my programs are there. I teach my own program, The Digital Gangsta. I'm also, very involved with ClickFunnels. You can find me in either place. And you can always email me at julie@juliestoian.com.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode and I hope you took some serious notes because Julie really had some powerful stuff to share with us. Now, a couple of things before I let you go. One is, if you're not subscribed to the show yet, I want to personally invite you to subscribe, rate and review it, and then send us a screenshot because that's how you enter our monthly giveaway. I don't know if I should mention this more often, but we do have a monthly giveaway and we have books, mentorship, courses, coaching, VIP Q&As with the influencers that we interview. Sometimes we got iPads and iPhones and headphones and a bunch of other cool stuff. So you don't want to miss this out. Now, really important, of course, not everybody that's going to enter will win, but you're not going to be able to win if you don't enter, right? So the link to go is clientacquisitionpodcast.com. You'll get all the details and all the information there. And I can't wait to share with you guys the next episode. Talk to you guys next week. Take care. Hey, podcast listeners, I want you to know that I really appreciate your attention and I don't take it lightly. That's why each month we pick a lucky winner and we give away books, mentorship, software, courses, iPads, and other cool stuff. The way to enter is go to clientacquisitionpodcast.com and sign up. You'll get all the details there. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.